Hey guys, Thomas the Slow Genie here, aka Mustached. I'm here to review the movie Roleplay. If you end up enjoying this full movie review, then please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Also make sure to check out those links in the description. One will head you over to my petition to help out smaller YouTubers, to get there to my Patreon and PayPal, where you can help support me and my channel directly, and fourth to my Discord server. You can join, collab, chill, and do all that cool stuff. And shilling will be reminded at the end of the review. With all that out of the way, let's get into the movie of Roleplay. So I just came into this movie without any trailers or any of that stuff, so I came in completely blind. With that being said, I'll try to give a look at it objectively as possible. See the plot, characters, all that great stuff, and see how it pans out. So the movie focuses on this family of four. We have a mom, dad, a older brother, and younger sister. And early, right out of the gate actually, we discover that the woman of the household, Anna, is an assassin, but she's keeping it from her family. So this is definitely playing off of the trope of a secret assassin within the family, and the others not knowing that that is the case. This is not the first instance of this type of archetype. This dates back to all types of movies. Sometimes it's the guy, sometimes, and even earlier than that, sometimes it was both the parents, like in Spy Kids, just as an example. And yeah, this one plays a little bit more straight, as in it's not presented as much of a comedy, which typically speaking these movies tend to play off of the comedic beats of this sort of reveal type story, with the down dip typically surveying as the closer to middle end point, and then of course our revelations. And I'll admit, this movie even caught me off guard. I thought that there were a few different things that were going to end up happening, but we'll get to those. Anyway, so she is putting on this act, as it were, playing a role, as the movie implies. Meanwhile, she forgets their anniversary he actually manages to remember. She's been overworked, being an assassin, but due to her background of lying, she puts on the act of saying that she's in the role of finance. He has a job as well, but that's not really the focus, as she does take lead in this movie. With that being said, their love life isn't exactly hitting, and the indicator of that was indeed this anniversary. So they make a plan to do a little bit of, well, as the movie implies, roleplay, to meet in a different location, different names, and pretend as if they're meeting for the first time, essentially is what they're trying to go for. Unfortunately, when they do meet at this bar, they get encountered by one old man named Bob, who tries to drink them up a little bit, and gaining intel rather suspiciously, more so for her than him. Once that he is out of the picture, she tries to continue the night with her husband, but he ends up falling asleep. So she decides to pay old Bob a visit, and it turns out, surprise, surprise, that he was among the various assassins who learned of her recent escapades of what we see in the beginning. And now she has a lot of heat on her, and it's gaining traction. So she had already kind of caught on that he was more than he let on down below and spiked his drink. That didn't prevent him from attempting to shoot her, but nonetheless, she has the advantage now because he's all drunk and old, and is able to take him down. With that, she exits the scene, he exits it with her, and they make their way, none the wiser of him. However, when they return, and later on, it's caught on the news that this old guy died. Surprise, surprise, body is found, and these two are lead in suspicion, as it were. So, he gets called in while she has another job that needs doing, as it were. And he gets started to get questioned by the police, and then eventually by the FBI, while she's already like in another country trying to get passports for her entire family, trying to, again, alleviate for the first time in her perhaps career of an assassin, of making those moves and letting the rest of the family know. But the liar reveal part of this movie actually happens relatively early, with them telling the two cops, or the FBI agent, essentially saying that she is an assassin, you were lied to, etc., etc. However, the love runs too deep, and he keeps trying to hold on to whatever he thought was, well, real. And he's like, I'm coming to get you. He eventually makes contact after finding her stuff. And he goes to meet her, and it kind of replays the roleplay scene from before, but now he knows that she's an assassin. And she gets tracked down by these other individuals who are searching for her to bring her back into the fold of their operation that she used to work for. But she's done with it. And, however, these four now getting the drop on both of them and put them down, temporarily speaking. She awakens first in this outside area that's like in a facility far away from most areas. The family is brought in, as well as an insurance, and her mentor, as it were, gives her an ultimatum, that being either take out the husband for whatever reason. I'll admit they don't really expand upon this too much, so I'm a little bit like, okay. But the other part of it is that if she doesn't, the mentor will instead probably take, as she's sort of implying through her vagaries, is that she will take on the kids and teach them the assassin life. So she wants out completely, though, that being our main character. So she chooses violence, her third and final option. She shoots her husband in a non-vital spot to gain the advantage out in the open. Or not out in the open, but there's like a forest area, more like, where she starts to retake down these individuals that she had known, eventually taking on the mentor and even defeating her as well. And once that is said and done, she reunites with all of them, and they get out, and they just start driving away. And that was Roleplay. Now, I was expecting them to lean a little bit more on comedy, but more so, I was a little bit more almost anticipating with the ascension of, well, the implication of the title, was that he was actually going to start getting more involved in the assassin life, actually. I thought that's what the route that they were going to go for, and actually having the kids get on it too, or at least know or learn about it. Or more so, maybe just the dad does, but it goes into the whole role play thing of he starts to take on this character, and he learns from her in that way. That's actually sort of the direction I thought this movie was going to start heading in, towards the middle-ish part of the movie, once he discovers she's an assassin. I thought he was going to take up the opportunity to train up, gotta have a little montage. I thought this movie was going in a whole different direction, but no, they stick to this whole she wants out, and he just doesn't want anything to do with it. And for the most part, the movie does play it pretty straightforward, which I don't know, which typically speaking, that is not very typical. These movies, or the trope that this movie set, the sort of secret assassin type, is always housed under comedy action, typically speaking. So it was a little surprising to try to see how serious they were trying to play it off, and I don't think they nailed it necessarily, even in that regard. I think the levity actually could have helped elevate this movie, if anything. And I know that's sort of falling back on previous, examples, as I mentioned, but again, just the level of ridiculousness of the setup kind of lends itself to the comedy in a way. So I can understand why that has been a developing trope for so many years now. And I think Spy Family, the anime, is a pretty decent example of that. Well, you have 3 different types of liars, which makes it all more interesting. Well, actually, even more than that. You have plenty of liars in that show. And it is so interesting to see how they're starting to crack down on what they really want, those deeper urges, those deeper human urges to be together, to have that familial relationship sort of be at the core of it all. But season 1 and 2 have been really fantastic. Season 1 with the dad, and season 2 with the mom. So yeah, I look forward to that. But getting back on task for this movie, it is, again, rather weird almost that this movie doesn't play off the comedy potential that is, again, this setup. They try to play it straight, which is bizarre, because they have some scenes that almost play into the comedy of it. Like, they have the scene where she's, like, running away, and there's someone chasing her, and that person chasing her gets, like, hit by a car. I was like, oh, they're trying to go for a comedic bit here. Like, something else is going to happen that's even more bizarre or something, right? And then it kind of just keeps going on that track. I was like, oh, okay, never mind, I guess. That's that button, I guess. So, yeah. I was expecting a little bit more from him as a counterpart. He kind of does get involved, but again, I was expecting I was expecting to be surprised. Maybe, again, doing something a little bit different, with it. Because usually when it's about the assassin life, it's usually someone wants to get out. And again, all I did was narrate to you guys trying to oppose that in the same direction, where you just have him get interested in the job. And since they already have kids, you can do, there's all that. This movie definitely plays, though, as like there's no like sequel baiting or any of that, so I guess there's that much credit I would lend it, because I don't think they were expecting this movie to be big, and yeah, I can see that. The writing definitely displays it. It's relatively simplistic in that way, where you don't really learn too much about the kids and the family unit as a whole. Again, the primary focus is around her, which is so bizarre that a lot more of these written movies are. And I noticed this in another movie that I had also recently reviewed, in that there seems to be this weird bizarreness that is happening in movies recently, in the writing in particular, where there seems to be a whole lot more focus on the main character, and the side characters are literally more put to the side than ever before. And it feels like this isn't the type of movie to do that. And the other movie I was thinking of was like the swimming pool horror movie. I know that the gimmick was stupid, but I mean, the whole focus was on the dad on that one, and all the other characters, as it were, weren't really anything. And the same thing can be implied here, except we're focused on her, and, you know, her willingness to let go and all of that stuff. But it's so focused, it's so narrow, and I don't think that helps on what seems to be, again, he's on the poster. You would think that the duality of this type of movie would be the focus of it. And you have the kids, and they could be side characters because, you know, they have to occupy something, like the distraction or the, you can use them for other minor things, certainly, but nonetheless, it does certainly feel like as if the last few movies I've seen, or at least the other one I mentioned, has this bizarre issue of only focusing on the main character, when, again, there's another character right there on the poster. The implication to me seems to imply that he would have a bigger role to play in the movie, and it seems weird that this is the second time that this has happened in a short span of me watching movies and then reviewing them. But hey, I guess that's a lot of luck or whatever. Anyway, that's my review. I'm gonna give this movie like a 4 out of 10. It's not great by any stretch of the imagination. Again, I think they could have built a lot more off of this very clearly, as I've been implying throughout my review. I thought that they didn't take full advantage of recognizing where this sort of, genre, I guess, or subgenre, or whatever you would want to call it, of type of movie, and really hitting that as the sort of linchpin of this type of movie. But no, that's not the case. Anyway, so that's my score. And if you ended up enjoying this full movie review, then please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, make sure to check out those links in the description. I want to head you over to my petition to help out smaller YouTubers, so I get a third to my Patreon and PayPal, where you can help support me and my channel directly. And fourth, to my Discord server, you can join, collab, chill, and do all that cool stuff for free. And until next time, bye-bye.